Direct overhead, direct overhead. There he goes, black and white, black and white. Here comes the buzz, here comes the buzz. Your taxes. Here comes the buzz, here comes the buzz. Your taxes for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube and exposing the non-humans that we have among us that are lawbreakers, the illegal people that are running YouTube, and their lawlessness. This is a buzz, this is a buzz.
Hi friends, in 2021 I released Woke the Movie, which was my attempt to link numerous internet conspiracy theories into a shared universe, kind of like the MCU. In the film, we talk about many strange concepts that are often waved off as absurd by normal society, and explore the strangest of these topics. We relied heavily on the accounts of 6 self-described whistleblowers. However, there's one area where all 6 whistleblowers are in agreement on something that's too outrageous for even the most intrepid conspiracy theorists.
Reptilians?
The reptilians.
The reptilians.
The reptilians. The reptilians.
Reptiles.
They're ugly looking lizard, alligator type people.
Here he comes. See that how it grows louder? There he is. Your taxes for LAPD helicopters to buzz. See the way he banked off right there?
So it would be the school, and then there would be a playground, and then there would be this church that was behind it. So there was one day the door was open, and I walked up the steps into this church and walked in, and there was these I did an image, but basically there was these 3 reptilians that were there, and they were holding a chalice, and they were talking back and forth with whoever this, I think he was like a pastor or whatever, but they were basically doing a blood ritual, and they were drinking blood and stuff. And these reptilians saw that I walked in, and they were like, hey, they were like, have them leave, or basically they were talking about eating me next.
Oh, check it out, there he goes. Your taxes. Yeah, he's circling around too. Riled up. Check that out, friends. Your taxes. There he goes. Direct overhead. That was direct overhead in case you missed it. There he goes. Circling right around. Yeah. But it's quite remarkable. So this is for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube. And now, I think they're pissed about something else. What could it be? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, I mean, where's the criminal? Oh, it's me.
The reptilians arrived here and again began to take over, instilled themselves in different places underground in the earth, and also this one part of them, the ruling part, took over and became involved in the politics and in the religion, and started controlling through these means at that point in time.
So, since a lot of what I talk about has to do with targeting, and a lot of people that watch my channel, and by the way, someone just mentioned you don't know if there might not be too many humans watching your channel. Yeah, that could be true. But a lot of these, speaking of which, are folks that can do something that I've done too, and I don't want to say that I've never done this, but when you mention paranormal items such as somebody's not human, or who knows, man, the moon is made out of green cheese, whatever. The thing is that you have to me, it's important to maintain credibility by sounding rational, at least, you know, and not insisting on things where there really isn't enough proof. You know, like let's just say somebody is saying that some person in a video is not human. If you're in a conversation with somebody, you know, you may believe that, and you may have your reasons for that, but if you can't show them, and they're not, even if they're people that believe in this stuff, it's good to show reason, because there's a lot of people that don't think carefully enough about what they say before they say it, and with a sense of reason that others can't see what you're seeing. I've been shown so many times, people showing me pictures saying that there is a paranormal element. Like, God, you can see the reptilian, or you can see the demon, or, you know, or something. And I look at the picture, and it is an ordinary picture. There is nothing but nothing I can see that's out of the ordinary. I say, can you show it to me? So they'll send me a copy back with a bunch of red circles circled around things that they say are paranormal, and there's nothing there. Literally, you zoom in, look carefully at it. I can't see anything, you know. I mean, now maybe somebody else can, but again, the point I'm trying to make is that I think, to me anyway, and I'm just speaking for me personally, because other people, they may, you know, think it's fine just to come at people with exactly what you think, and, you know, don't try to, you know, water it down a bit for kids, you know, so they don't freak out when you say it. But I think, to me, it's important to show some level of reason, some level of, you know, okay, I realize this may seem unusual, but here's what I think about it, etc., etc. And then if the other person says, well, I can't see it or whatever, because yeah, maybe it's hard to see. I just kind of sense it, you know, and I kind of feel it in the overall situation. I know it's hard to convey that, but the point is showing reason, okay? You see what I'm saying? I don't know if you can get what I'm saying. Maybe it's a little distracting. I'm driving, but if when you're talking with people, telling them about stuff, you know, whether emailing or whatever, if it's very easy to come off as a lunatic, and there are tons of them, and they're not really like bad people, or really, what I mean is they're not really like totally crazy. They just don't have a sense of being reasonable about paranormal elements that you cannot prove, at least without something suspicious or something that kind of shows what it is. That's why I say, when people point out these glitches in video or whatever, and saying it's shape-shifting, I don't pay any attention to that. I don't give any credence to that, because unless you see something that's evidence of a shapeshift or a demonic distortion, like a beast feature. Okay, so I don't say something is, you know, you'll notice when I do these busts or whatever, I don't show it unless you can clearly see something out of the ordinary, or in particular, a beast feature, claws, fangs, slit eyes, tiles, kind of discoloration that is not able to be explained by ordinary means, things that aren't able to be explained away as, you know, compression or transmission error or refresh rate error or something else. So again, I just try to remind people that, and I really, and this is a personal preference. Other people, they're willing to just, you know, talk with anybody and whatever, you know, is cool. To me, I have a limited tolerance for that, because to me, if people think I'm crazy, and that's all they treat me as for the rest of my life, and that's it, and they're never going to talk to me again, like my family, I don't want it to be, at least because I wasn't reasonable, and look, I understand if you're skeptical, here's my reasons, A, B, and C, here's my evidence, that you can see. I'm not just saying, you know, hey, I think it's a reptile. It's got to be a reptilian, man. It's a bipedal reptilian. I'm telling you, man. You know, I'm showing it, okay? You can see the freaking fangs and the claws and the slit eyes. I mean, you can see it in the picture. You can actually see it, and you're looking at it, and maybe you haven't seen this before, and it's kind of unusual. You can't wrap your head around it at first, but you can see there's something in the picture that is at least somewhat alluding to it, if not clearly depicting it, like Keanu's claw, clearly depicting it, like Horny Toad Harrison with the 8 spikes sticking out of his forehead. You know, that's something you can really see it and show, and that's why I say to me that's important. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't share if you encounter this stuff or you've seen it already. Because a lot of stuff, a lot of people, you need to share it even if you don't have a picture of it. People have seen stuff out in the forest or whatever. But there is, but if you do and you're talking with somebody, you need to be reasonable and say, look, okay, I understand if you're skeptical. That's always a polite thing to say when you're talking to somebody else, because they may still disbelieve you. Okay, I'm not saying that's you're not going to convince anybody who's not ready for it or hasn't seen something like that themselves, and their mind isn't acclimated to this kind of thing. But at least it won't be because you were unreasonable and just said, yeah, it's paranormal element, and there's no proof, there's nothing, but I'm just telling you, this is what it is. No, it is this. Okay. You got to be cool. You got to be reasonable, because eventually we'll be vindicated. And in the meantime, you don't want to look like a bunch of nutcases. If people don't believe you, it shouldn't be because you're unreasonable. I don't have any big conclusion about this, but I thought I would just share that when I was talking with the angels, a window or some kind of portal opened up in my email, as I mentioned last time, and apparently God can hear this a little bit more than, well, definitely more, it seems to me, than prayer, because I don't get any response at all from that. But from my email, it's like right away. Now, somebody else might say, well, that's because you're talking to Satan, you're not talking to God. But only God can give you the kind of message in reply that I got, at least from my experience, which is, for me, I know it sounds kind of corny, but when I'm watching a show at night, like on DVD, when I pause to do something and go leave, or when I turn it off for the last time at night, I hit the stop right after it says something like one time he gave me a message to not drink, and the last thing was do not drink alcohol, and then the device goes off. And I knew, somehow, maybe it's like the spirit giving me an added thing to know that was a message. That was a message of some kind, telling me not to drink. And then when I disobeyed, I was punished. And then when I disobeyed again, I was punished worse. So now I don't drink. But I really like alcohol, just so you know. I've got nothing against it. For all you people that love your beer out there, hey, not speaking against you, man. I love it. I love beer. I love sake. I love whiskey. I used to have like 3 beers every night. 3 beers, a bong load. I'd have 2 beers, a bong load, then another beer, and then dinner. And and watching Satan's lying news right to my face on PBS and NBC every single night for years and years and years. But no, it started to mess with my internal guts, and I think I'm already now permanently damaged as a result. So I do not actually recommend drinking alcohol, and also caffeine drinks as well, which is why I switched to lemon tea that my dear Anna taught me how to do. My Russian angel. By the way, just for disclosure purposes, because it might come up, to this date, the #1 contributor to my channel is the #1 nation, Russia! Russia woman tell you nothing. I used to say to my Anna. I just kind of, mocking the typical stereotype Russian in our Hollywood movies, always portrayed as, the Russian bad guy, always up to some no good with his thick Russian accent. Just kind of joking. Of course, I've kind of been on Russia's side a little bit for the last 10 years at least, since I started getting into this, just because when I fully realized that the news was actually lying to your face. In case you didn't know this, all news is lying to your face. I'm not telling anybody new this. Most of the people who watch my channel know this, but in case you're new to this, all of them are it's pure evil coming out of the tube at your face. pure lies, pure propaganda. It's all straight from Satan, and as you watch it, you're sitting there watching Satan's energy pour into your eyes. And my God gave me a message to not do it, and it took slapping me upside the head, and finally I realized, oh, okay, don't watch TV. And then after a period of not watching it, and then if I happen to watch it again, like I did, like, oh, you know, almost 10 years after that happened, and I haven't watched TV hardly at all since then. But when I was seeing some TV when I was in the hospital with this pneumonia, that TV looked so propagandized, evil, slick. Oh, it's just such crap. I could only encourage you enough. Just absolutely try not to watch. Just get rid of it, man. Well, I just used it just like I bought a TV, but I mainly just used it to watch DVDs or Blu-rays on. But television, yeah, it's just pure programming, evil propaganda to keep you asleep, to keep you thinking the wrong thing, to keep you misdirected, to keep selling you things that are harmful to your mind, body, and soul. And it's just, I mean, television is just horrible. It's horrible. So since I discovered the reptilians and the fact that we're not the top of the food chain, as Blade 2 kind of gives some wording to, but I've been trying to figure out how to make a movie or how to do something that would bridge the gap between those that don't know this, that it's not just that they're eating us, it's just horrible what they're doing to humanity. I mean, it's beyond what at least I can think that God has a purpose for, or, you know, even if that exists, you wouldn't want to just say, okay, because God's doing it, then don't do anything about it.